During a decade of rapid growth in Iran, prominent Jewish businessman and self-made millionaire Habib El-Ghanian and his brothers built the Plasco Building in 1962 in the capital city, Tehran. His plastics company was the inspiration for the building's name, and at the time of construction it was Iran's tallest building. The Plasco Building symbolized modernization and hope. It was regarded as an iconic feature of Tehran's new skyline. For comparison, at the time the Plasco Building was seen as Iran's Empire State Building. The brothers' design consisted of a commercial high-rise complete with a one-of-a-kind shopping mall and commercial office space. Visitors to the 17-story building's rooftop would also be able to take in a 360-degree panoramic view of Tehran. However, the story embodied the conflict between those who wanted to modernize the country and the clerics who opposed them. The clerics were unhappy that Habib, a Jewish man, owned the tallest building in Iran. After the Iranian Revolution in 1979, Habib was imprisoned as he refused to leave the city. He was found guilty of corruption and Zionism in a 20-minute trial and shot by a firing squad on May 9, 1979, which sent shockwaves through the Jewish community. Most of the remaining Jewish community, which was approximately 100,000 of them, promptly fled Iran soon after. The Plasco Building was then seized and handed ownership to the state-controlled Islamic Revolution Mostasafan Foundation, who had close ties with the Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps. These were a branch of Iranian armed forces founded during the revolution. They own the building ever since. Fast forward to 2017, the Plasco Building was being used as a major shopping centre with a restaurant on its upper floor. At around 7:50 PM on January the 19th, 2017, a fire broke out on the 9th floor, sparked by an electrical short circuit. At the time, the building was occupied by its residents, garment shop workers, and various tour groups who were being shown around the building. 10 fire brigades arrived to tackle the fire when another disaster struck. The north wall of the building suddenly collapsed, followed by the rest of the structure a few moments later. This was all captured by Iran's state-run press TV, who were covering the fire. When the north wall collapsed, several firefighters were inside, and some of them were able to safely escape before the building completely collapsed. One of the firefighters told a news agency, "I was inside and suddenly I felt like the building was shaking and was about to collapse. We gathered all our colleagues and got out. A minute later, the whole building collapsed." Others weren't so lucky. 20 firefighters died during the collapse. The collapse injured at least 200 others, with 23 of them being taken to local hospitals with serious injuries. There have been conflicted reports on the death toll, with some claiming up to 30, but the majority of the sources I found claim that there were 20 deaths. Fire Brigade spokesman Jalal Makhaliz said, "We had repeatedly warned the building managers about the lack of safety of the building. Even in the stairwells, a lot of clothing is stored, and this is against safety standards. The managers didn't pay attention to the warnings." A funeral for the firefighters was held at Tehran's Grand Masala. Tens of thousands of people attended. They were, and still are, remembered as heroes. In the beginning, the builder's owner, the Mostasafan Foundation, declined to make a public statement. However, 4 days later, the foundation apologized for their possible role in the building's safety failure, but clarified that they were not a member of the board of directors responsible for the building's affairs. An investigation was immediately launched and found that the fire started and spread as a result of 2 factors. The first was the non-standard maintenance of the building, and the second was the lack of fire safety systems in the building, which were required by the National Building Code. In April 2017, the government released a report on the building's collapse. They claimed that the foundation had disregarded government warnings. The report also stated that 22 national building regulations had gone unenforced by government ministries. From what I could see, I couldn't find any charges against anyone, but if anyone knows any more, please feel free to leave it in a comment and I will pin it to the top of the video. Many citizens and firefighters were left heartbroken by the Plasco Building collapse, which remains the country's worst firefighting tragedy.